Evening all, welcome to Kicking Dust. Yes, we're still playing it, chill out. This is a very lazy example of repping. And do you know what we're done? We're done with the whole talking about FanFest. We're done with the whole, we've had almost a week of this shit now. So, as far as I'm concerned, go and check out Kicking Dust 72, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 or whatever for all of the FanFest discussion. So for now, we're just going to move on. Okay, so we won't make too much reference to it. I am curious to see how many more people are going to play this game in the coming months, because I'm loving the fact that people are really just going for it. I mean, I was in a match last night, and a gang, I think it was Mafia Clan, and they must have just been told to run officer guns only, which was really fun. It was an incredibly difficult game, but it was very odd to see 4 heavies with Gastons and one with a Thales and one with the Balax and that, and it was just like, oh my god. But it was fun, I've got to admit. I've actually almost kind of embraced a little bit the whole switch over in terms of the fact that it could create some quite good games. I would love to see some of the officer stomping stuff going on, and we may even do that. We're going to do probably another stream just on that stream. If you didn't watch the stream we did, I know probably a lot of you haven't, because it was 4.5 hours, 5 hours. Part 2 is probably the better one, I would say. Part 1 was pretty good, but part 2 was where we were just so drunk and the chat was really good. It was really, really nice vibe and fun, and it was just great. I loved doing it. So we'll probably do another one of them, and what we'll do is we'll do an officer gun only. So you're allowed in the gang to fight as long as you're using officer guns, and once you've run out of officer guns, out you go. We get another dude in who's got officer guns, and we then use his guns up. So I think we might do that, because that might be quite fitting. I know a lot of people are kind of saying to me, but Pyrex, already they've said you can carry across your weapons and blah, 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 blah. Let me be clear. They are never going to allow you to carry across, 100 Thales, ever. And you're saying, why, Pirates? Well, let me tell you. Because if they actually ever did that, then they would just start the game with this kind of massive disadvantage to anyone else coming into the game. And I honestly think what you're going to see is that you'll be allowed to take a portion of your risk up to a sensible nominated value. So maybe you're allowed to take up to 50 million or something like that. I think you'll also be able to take all of the basic seats and the advanced seats that you've got. I don't think you'll get any prototype, guns, weapons and a lot. I don't think you'll get any vehicles, potentially, so just bear that in mind, because again, I don't think you will. Just part of me just thinks that we won't. And I honestly don't think you'll take across any officer guns. I would even say that the whole officer system is going to get a makeover anyway. I don't, because the way that Eve handles it and the way that Dust handled it was very different. And if this is going more towards Eve, I can almost confirm completely that they will guarantee you that they will just not do it that way. Okay, tough stuff, I know. I mean, again, if there's no laser rifle in the next game, then you won't carry that across. If there's no scrambler rifle, you won't carry any of them across, and so on. So, let's be clear on that point. I don't think it's too much of an issue, though. I think the biggest concern I would have is people thinking, well, everything will go across, therefore I'm just going to keep buying boosters, I'm going to keep buying this, keep doing that, keep doing this. I wouldn't do that. I'm not going to say that I wouldn't. I'm not. Now I know that this game is done, I'm not buying any more boosters. What's the point? Because, yes, okay, you might take some of your skill points across. I don't want people to waste their money if there is the chance that they may not take all of them. If there was a guaranteed, you will get all of your, and I know a lot of you are going to point this out, and it's not, read the language, it's not definite. Because they're saying only relevant and equivalent and relevant transfers, etc. And I don't trust the words like that. So as far as I'm concerned, until I read in blood that it says very clearly every single skill point you've earned in Dust will be transferred with your name character to this new game, I am not recommending anybody buys boosters. It's just my opinion. Honestly, just my opinion. I just wouldn't. I think when it comes to all the other things, if they can just make this Legion feel as good as this, and what you're seeing here is a lovely triage repping thing here. This is just so effective. It's so good. I think if they can replicate this, they're onto a winner. I really do. And we are going to do a Legion speculation playlist. So you will start to see those videos coming through. But at the moment, we have only what you've seen to work on. So it's just going to be rife speculation. But There does seem to be a bit of excitement growing. There does seem to be a lot of interested parties out there now looking once again at Dust, which is a good thing. So, I think there's going to be progress in that direction. So let's move on to more brighter topics. I think some of the funnest, fun parts of this game have always been the gang action, right? And I do cite the stream as a great example of this, because that stream was just hilarious. There's 6 of us. We were pretty much all smashed out of our brains. And we just had a laugh, and it was just fun doing something, fighting, blah, blah, blah. And I honestly believe that is that is where CCP do excel. Now, I want to propose to you a future where this game isn't just limited to 6 people having fun. I know a lot of you Q-Sync, I know a lot of you do, but the mechanics are just not there to enable that. PC is maybe, if you do PC, then obviously your gang sizes are 16 members, and so you're used to dealing with more people. But the vast majority of people who play this game, your experience of this game is through 6 people or 5 people and you. And this is where I think the movement to Eve Legion is going to make this a much more enjoyable thing from a gang point of view. Hear me out. Don't rage yet. Hear me out. Because the way that Eve works is it's funny as hell when you've got like 100 people in gang and you're just arsing around and you're having fun, because you just feel part of something big. Now, Legion will have this similar thing. I don't believe there is going to be limitations like this game on the size of or number of people you can get into a map. Obviously, you can't throw 1,000 people in because that would be stupid. But I believe you probably will be able to put way more than 16 in. So can you imagine that? A gang of like 50 people, all again, I don't know how it's going to work, but it's going to be amazing to find out. But a gang of 50 people attacking a district or a region looking for drones to kill. Then the support behind that, just imagine, and again, we will look at this because the whole story of what Legion could potentially be with PvE is astonishing to me. Logi chains, repping tanks, dropships, you name it. This is going to be awesome. And I think the little nugget of awesomeness that they've made Dust to be, which is this gang action of 6 people, is going to be blown up into 16, 20, 30 people, maybe more. And just imagine that, a gang of 30 people all fleeted up, ganged up, in a little mini legion, and they just then drop onto a planet and start fighting. Oh, that's going to be fun, isn't it? And I just think, the freedom of it all. So, you do a bit of PvP and you get stomped and you think, right, let's go hunt some drones. And then you're hunting drones and then you see another gang doing the same thing, so you stomp them. I mean, it's going to be fun. I would also say one of the interesting things from FanFest, which I haven't really commented on yet, was the progression discussion. Because they're going to make it so that there isn't 5 levels of module module skill levels. So you'll basically be saying, I can use this gun or I can't use this gun. And then there'll be the levels of gun that you have with it. Now, I really like that because I've always thought it doesn't make much sense. If I can use a laser rifle, then bang, that's it. I also think this maybe extends into the fact that they're going to level the field better than they have currently. So currently you've got, 3 different levels of laser rifle. And then you've got a few Aurum ones, etc. But there's 3, basically. Well, 4 in a way. But anyway, 3. Let's say 3. And I think they're just going to make it so there'll be a base variant and then an officer good one. And I think that's why this is going to be. I don't think prototype is necessarily what the feature of this game is going to be. I think it's going to be much more based upon, I'm a merc with this fit out with this gun. And maybe you can find a better version of that gun from a drone and then sell it on the market or keep it, which is exactly like Eve is. Or you just then run the basic. And to be honest, why would you're not going to run your best fits in all cases, because you don't have the ability just to buy prototype potentially anymore. Or rather you do, but it's a resource that's not infinite, if that makes sense. I don't know if people get that, but I think there is going to be something quite phenomenally awesome about the whole process, and I really do hope that people engage in that. And this is again, partly the reason I did videos way back when Dust came out was the speculation of all of the mechanics of what the game could do. And I think what was, unfortunately we're still there, but we're now talking about yet another product. But that is the way of things. So it does feel that we're maybe starting again from scratch. It does feel yet again that we're kind of right back to square one, but I don't think we are. I think we're further along maybe than we think possibly truthfully where we is, and I think it's going to be better than it was. The PC maybe will make this a bit easier to develop. It will certainly make it, I think, a bit easier to test. And I think that maybe the design decisions behind Dust were just they were a world away from what we are potentially seeing with this new game, Legion. Still, anyway, let's not go on about that. The game is still incredible fun. I am playing on a very, very regular basis, always every day. In fact, maybe a little more, because the games seem to be a bit more fun. I think it's because people are playing with a bit more abandon, a bit more reckless abandon, and I think they're probably having a smidge more fun than possibly they were before. I certainly do believe that. I know a lot of people are upset, but I also think a lot of people are quite eager and excited, and they're keen to see what the next steps will be. I think for us, if Legion's not very good, we won't play it. That's a simple process, really. That's all you can say, innit? You can't say any more than that. You can't say fairer than that, to be honest. If it's not very good, we won't play it. Dust was good. I liked it. A lot of people liked it, but not enough people liked it. And I think really this is the sad truth. Loving that dropship. I still think there's going to be some incredible moments in this game. I think let's not forget what you have invested in this game has led to a series of moments that you remember with fondness. You remember, when Dave called in his tank and it crushed your gang leader and he rage quit. I don't know, whatever. But there are a series of moments that you'll never forget. And I think to kind of just say, right, done, let's move on is more than fine. But I think just make sure you're moving on to something that will also give you these memorable moments. I think there's going to be a lot of people who will continue to play Dust and will embrace the change, and they will just then obviously wait for that transition to be in an orderly process so that they carry on with their footprint, whatever that means, into the new game, and then they have, effectively they have their future of gaming set for them. I've seen a lot of people who've left Dust in the year I've been playing this, or years, who are now coming back because they've heard the news and they want to know more. So, that's got to be good. But also I would say don't keep playing this game if it's going to make you rage and get upset. I think if you're still playing Dust and yet all you find you're doing is raging and you're very unhappy, then probably stop. Go and look at the market, see what other games are out there that take your fancy and give them a go, because there's nothing worse than somebody who really is unhappy enjoying their hobby and leisure time, because seriously that you're doing it wrong if that's what's going on. Post in the comments, tell me what your thoughts are. I think, it's going to be a bumpy ride, but let's see where it goes. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next time.